Oh my God.
I got kids at home. What am I supposed to do? Starve to death?
Ma'am.
No, I ain't leaving this here. I said what I said. I'm leaving with it, all of it. Y'all can call the cops if you want to. Jesus. My husband's in the Uber waiting right outside. You think I'm joking?
Ma'am, please.
I'm gone.
My kids have not eaten in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids.
Trump done cut them food stamps off.
If you're poor, don't have kids, okay? If you're struggling, don't have kids. Don't bring more in. If you already have them, that's another situation. If you don't have them, don't bring any in. And if you have two, don't go having another one. If you have one, don't go having two more.
It's really crazy to me how little people understand how things work. I keep seeing all these right-wing creators be like, well, food stamps get cut off, I guess you'll have to get a job. Even though most people on food stamps have a job because there's work requirements and all this kind of paperwork you have to fill out to prove that not only you have a job, but you're making little enough money to get food stamps, which I think is stupid. I think food stamps should be a universal program and everybody should get it, and then that would solve the whole he gets it and I don't problem, which is all the right really has. They're not upset that food stamps exist. They're upset that they don't get food stamps. That's really the problem. I guarantee if food stamps was a universal program, nobody on the right would be complaining about it, which is why I advocate for universal programs. But they also don't understand what this is going to do to the economy. Like, literally, Walmart, Food Lion, all your grocery stores, without food stamp money, their business models will collapse. And when that goes to happen, they're going to drastically raise their prices on everything else to try to cover the loss. Because we live in capitalism and it's got to have infinite growth. So if they don't get their food stamps, you better buckle up because this is going to affect the entire economy. I don't care what job you have.
So guess what I'm doing for the first time in 12 years? Okay? I am getting up. I'm ready. Did my hair. Took my shower. Brushed my teeth. And I'm going to do my community service hours. Why community service hours, do you ask? Because they told me in order to keep my food stamps, I would have to do 15 hours of community service per week. That's at minimum. I can do more if I want to, which I probably will because I don't have anything else going on. And my kids are in daycare since I qualified for subsidized childcare. So, I'm going to do my 15 hours or more. I haven't decided yet. It depends on how I like it at the place where I'm volunteering. But anyways, this is just until I get an actual full-time job because they don't just let you stay in community service for as long as you want. You have to find employment or go to school. So
this message is for all the people complaining that they're not going to be able to afford tampons next period. What'd you do with October's tampons? Huh? What'd you do? Did you put an ad out in Facebook Marketplace for a community tampon where you guys could share? Did you think about that? Did you practice your Kegels so you could just hold it until you got to the bathroom? By the way, you can thank the Democrats for your period. And only snowflakes get toxic shock syndrome. Looks like you're going to have to free bleed for the holidays. Maybe you could invest in a Diva cup. Oh, your vagina's not the right shape for a Diva cup? Get a new vagina. Maybe you'll have to get creative this month. You could dig a hole out back, go squat over it, bury it. Like they used to do in the olden days. Or you could be like the rest of us, God-loving Americans, and just pull yourself up by your tampon strings and stop complaining. If you're too poor to buy tampons, maybe you don't have a period. Did you ever think about that? Huh? So, I'm sick of getting on here hearing y'all complain about tampons. Ugh.
Hey, poor people. If you wanted to eat and not die, maybe you shouldn't be poor. Also, we gave you money last month for food. What did you do with it? use it? Ugh. And now you want more food coming this month? God, stop being poor.
Food stamps cut off. 42 million Americans. November, right before Thanksgiving. The government shut down, and suddenly the safety net millions depend on just vanished. Working families, seniors, disabled people, all left scrambling. Here's the twist. A lot of these folks spent years voting against handouts and government dependency. They cheered when benefits got slashed. They shared memes about welfare queens and freeloaders. Now, they're the ones at the food bank, begging for their benefits, panicking about how to feed their families. Turns out, when you dismantle the safety net, you don't just hurt them, you hurt everyone, including yourself. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Today we're watching ideology meet reality at the grocery checkout, and reality's winning. Let's get into it.
My kids have not eaten in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids.
Trump done cut them food stamps off.
If you're poor, don't have kids, okay? If you're struggling, don't have kids. Don't bring more in. If you already have them, that's another situation. If you don't have them, don't bring any in. And if you have two, don't go having another one. If you have one, don't go having two more.
So food stamps gone November 1st, huh? That's what you get, bitch. That's what them kids can't eat lobster tails for snack, bitch. The list said, remember the list? The teacher had the little list. It said fruit snacks, tissue, crackers, the little things, all that kind of juice boxes and all that. Bitch, it did not call for prawns and fucking crab legs, king crab legs, bitch. How the kids gonna melt the butter for snack time? It's over. I don't get stamps no more anyway. They been cut our shit off long time ago, and we just had to figure out another way. I'll tell you, if you need to figure out a way on how to survive without hunger and starvation, without your EBT, inbox me in a minute.
So we need to talk about this lobster and crab legs myth, because this narrative has been pushed for years, that people on food stamps are living like royalty while others struggle. The actual numbers, average SNAP benefit is $6 per person per day. That's $180 a month if you're single. You're not buying seafood platters. You're buying chicken, rice, beans, and cereal. This fantasy that assistance was being massively abused, it got people to vote for cuts, to demand accountability and reforms, and now those same cuts are hitting home. Suddenly it's my kids haven't eaten in 5 days. Look, if you're genuinely struggling, you deserve help. But let's be honest about what created this crisis. It wasn't the people using the programs. It was the relentless attack on the programs themselves. Practical advice: swallow your pride and access every resource available. Food banks, WIC programs, church pantries. Document everything. Apply for emergency assistance and follow up relentlessly. There's no shame in feeding your family.
Now, why the fuck I just wake up and I see that they talking about, oh, people not getting they SNAP benefits in the month of November? I know, like, fuck, y'all ain't take my mama food stamps in the month of Thanksgiving. Are you fucking serious? Are we finna riot or what? Because this is taking it too far. It's already been too far, but they have taken it to hell. We're not going to eat. I'd be damned if I pay for a motherfucking turkey with my own motherfucking money. I know my mama better get her stamps on the 15th. If y'all need her name and her number, all of that, I'm telling you, let them stamps not be there. I'm organizing a riot in every city. I'm not playing. And I'm releasing the Epstein files. How about that? Ain't no fucking way. Why would you take food stamps? I'm pissed off.
So people get to starve right as the holidays are starting to kick off. Oh, this is going to end well. Let's get it together. Let's tighten up.
November, Thanksgiving month. When food costs spike and everyone's supposed to gather around the table, that's when benefits get cut. That timing isn't accidental. But here's what people keep missing. This isn't just affecting those people. This is hitting seniors on Social Security, disabled veterans, working families who followed every rule and still got left behind. The frustration is completely valid. When you're told to just work harder but you're already working 2 jobs, when you're told to budget better but inflation demolished your grocery budget, Eventually, you realize the system isn't broken. It's designed this way. Talking about riots isn't productive, but organizing your community, that's real power. Food drives, mutual aid networks, neighborhood support systems. That's how people survive when institutions fail. The people who champion these cuts aren't the ones going hungry. They never are. The consequences always flow downward, never up.
If you receiving EBT or SNAP and you seeing all these TikToks going around talking about, oh, you're not going to get none for November, that's not necessarily what they said. First of all, why you didn't see this coming? And second of all, it has to do with the government shutdown, okay? What they actually said was this. They said delayed, okay? Delayed. But you should be moving appropriately anyway. Go utilize food banks. Stop, buying junk food. Cook. Make your food last longer. And if you're thinking this is just for people who have a bunch of kids and they living off the system, no, this is across the board. This is for seniors who are on Social Security. This is for people on disability. Anybody who is getting SNAP to help them. Everybody. It affects everybody. So I need you to go ahead and like, comment, definitely share this for those who are seeing it and then panicking that they're not getting nothing, because it actually says delayed, not cut off, okay? This is a time for us to come together. Food banks are going to dry up real quick. So for those that have extra, donate to the food banks. Those who need it, get to the food banks. What I can tell you now is the food bank that I went to is pretty much empty. So instead of commenting hate and speech and this, we don't need that right now. We need to come together. If you got it, donate. Help. Don't hurt.
Finally, someone providing actual solutions instead of just panic. Delayed versus cut off. That distinction matters legally. But when you're living paycheck to paycheck, a delay is a crisis. You can't delay rent. You can't delay feeding your kids. The advice is solid. Food banks, meal planning, stretching resources. That's survival mode. But here's the harsh reality. Food banks weren't designed to replace SNAP. They're for emergencies. When 42 million people suddenly need emergency food assistance, those shelves empty within days. This is what people miss when they support cutting these programs. You don't eliminate need by eliminating benefits. You just make people more desperate. The come-together message is beautiful, but mutual aid shouldn't be necessary in a functioning wealthy nation. The fact that ordinary people have to rescue each other because institutions won't, that's not heartwarming. That's systematic abandonment.
Okay?
But y'all fail to realize just because a motherfucker get housing or food stamps, they not just sitting on their ass. A lot of, some of them do. I feel y'all what y'all saying about the people that do. But we not talking about them people. We talking about able-bodied people that do get up off their ass every day, right? And go to work and pay taxes and still get government assistance. Y'all fail to realize the government fucking getting over on us. How the fuck we going to work every day and they taking our fucking money? And let alone sending it overseas, but y'all ain't saying shit about that. Y'all don't care. They could take the taxpayer dollars and do whatever the fuck they want to do it that's not benefiting you, benefiting us. Sending the shit overseas. How is that helping us? Make it make sense. Y'all gotta fucking wake up. I'm just tired of people that can work. Well, a lot of them are working. A lot of us do work and still get government assistance. Why the fuck we can't get no help from them? We helping them. We put money in their fucking pockets every day, every week, every 2 weeks. Y'all fucking you people oh Lord, you know what, y'all make my ass itch. Bad. It's itching right now. Cause y'all get on my fucking nerve.
Here it is. The conversation that should have been happening from the start. Why do people need SNAP while working full-time? Because wages haven't kept pace with the cost of living. Because corporations would rather pay minimum wage and let taxpayers subsidize their workforce. Think about this. If you work 40 hours a week and still qualify for food stamps, who's really getting the handout? You or your employer? That's the actual scam, not the single parent trying to feed their kids, the massive corporations externalizing their labor costs onto taxpayers. And the complaint about overseas spending? Valid. Billions for foreign aid, military contracts, corporate subsidies, all acceptable. But $6 a day so a working person can eat? That's where we draw the line on government waste. If you're working and still need assistance, take it without shame. The system is rigged to suppress wages and inflate costs. SNAP isn't charity. It's partial compensation for an economy that refuses to pay people what their labor is worth.
Bitch! Starting next month, we ain't getting no EBT food stamps.
I'm irritated. Mama, next month we ain't getting no EBT food stamps.
This message is for all the people that are complaining that they're not getting their food stamps for November. What did you do with October's food stamp money? What'd you do? Did you stock up on pantry items and try to shop smartly? Or did you just go buy a bunch of processed garbage? By the way, you can thank the Democrats for the government being shut down and your benefits not coming through for November. Looks like you're going to be going to the food pantry for your Thanksgiving meal. I know a lot of food pantries hand out turkeys for Thanksgiving. All the sides and trimmings too. Lots of food pantries. You better figure it out. I'm sick of hearing you complain, honestly. You ever have this as a meal? I'm eating peanut butter and butter on toast. It's absolutely delicious. You should try it. And not for nothing, I saw this woman that said she was getting $1,100 a month in food stamps. Do you know how long I could make $1,100 in food stamps last in this house? There's two of us, but I do have my son over every once in a while, or my daughters over once in a while to eat. I feed them too, and we always got food in our house, no matter what. I would take a third job. I have two jobs. I would take a third job if I had to, just to make sure my kids ate.
Wait, someone's lecturing people about budgeting while blaming the wrong party for a shutdown happening under the current administration? This is bootstrap ideology taken to its most absurd conclusion. I would work 3 jobs, as if the problem isn't that the system requires 3 jobs to survive. Let's talk about that $1,100 figure. That's an extreme outlier. Most individuals get $200, $300 maximum. The math works out to roughly $5.7 per person per day. That's not luxury. That's barely survival. But here's what bothers me most. This obsession with policing how people spend benefits. If someone buys processed garbage, maybe it's because processed food is cheaper and faster when you're working multiple jobs. Maybe they don't have a working kitchen. The judgment doesn't help anyone. It just makes people feel terrible for being poor. Practical advice. If you're facing delayed benefits, reach out to food banks, pantries, church programs, and your personal network. Most people are more generous than you think, and if you're judging others for needing help, ask yourself who benefits from your anger being aimed downward instead of upward.
What are you doing for your kids besides coming on the internet and bitching that you don't have any money in your food stamps account?
For everyone that is not receiving food stamps in the month of November, here at Walmart, we have these 48-hour emergency food supply kits. Supply kits come with 55 total servings of buttermilk pancakes, maple brown sugar oatmeal, creamy chicken flavored rice, macaroni and cheese, and creamy potato soup. All you gotta do is add water. It's 10,910 calories. It's a first 4-person kit, and it has 5 meal varieties. Only $27.38. If you're in a rut for Thanksgiving, come and get you one of these 48-hour emergency food supply kits. It'll definitely get the job done.
Okay, so yes, November's benefits, people are getting alerts saying that if the government shutdown continues, that there may be insufficient funds for the month of November. However, food stamps are a mandatory program. Citizens, participants are legally entitled to these funds. So in the past, if something like this happens, and has happened, they take extreme measures to make sure that the recipients are receiving this funding, because it is life securing and saving funding. This goes out to disabled people who are unable to leave their homes. This is not something that they would take lightly. It would be very serious. It would cause major grocery store shutdowns, because they are gearing up every month, the beginning of the month, for all of these millions of dollars of EBT and food stamps to be coming through. There would be so much chaos coming from this. They would not allow it, regardless of what you think about Trump. It's not going to happen. Do not let fear set in. Trust in our Lord and know that everything is going to be okay. I'm just trying to make sure you guys know how important this is to the government.
Wanted to give the simple idea for Halloween. My sister and I are going to Sam's Club and we're buying like some ramen and some of the mac and cheese that you can just like put in the microwave and like things that are shelf stable. And we're also going to give out candy, but the ramen, the big flats of ramen are like $6. And so with the possible loss of like food stamps and SNAP and all of that, just maybe an idea for some of you if you do trick-or-treaters or whatever, or if you have some trunk or treats. This is a great way for kids to get food without feeling embarrassed too, because like we're giving it away for Halloween, and if they want to stock up, like I'm not going to say anything. So just an idea.
I just don't care if your food stamps are getting cut. I don't care. I don't care because I struggle to pay for my own groceries with cash. So I don't care that yours are getting cut. That's all.
This lady on TikTok right now, man. Right now, as I'm doing this TikTok video for you guys, she's spazzing, she's crying. This lady is about 38 to 41 years old. She's on here saying her kids have not eaten in 5 days because they cut her SNAP benefits down to next to nothing. She says that it is the taxpayers' responsibility to take care of her and her kids. Now guys, mind you, we all seen this coming months ago. We knew back in January, February of 2025 that they were already proposing cutting SNAP benefits, making people go to work to be able to receive food stamps. It used to be years ago, if you didn't work, you get the food stamps, right? Or you were eligible for food stamps. Now, the president is making it to where if you work, you're eligible to get food stamps. This lady is on her going off, and then there's another lady who's on her spazzing as well, saying that they cut her food stamps from $1,000 all the way down to $212 a month. I'm not gonna lie, man. That's really not the government's fault, man. That's really your fault because y'all the ones who depend on it. You know how many women, and this is no offense to women, so please don't take this wrong, ladies. A lot of women have babies, a lot of babies, because the more babies they have, the more benefits they get, meaning that they can go the next 18 years without even having to work because they get that monthly benefit every month. They get that housing every month. They get that Medicaid, Medicare every single month. Coming online, snapping to a bunch of strangers who don't know you is not going to change your situation, man. To me, that's just another form of begging. We all knew that this was going to happen, man. So this is the time to get up and do something. You shouldn't have waited until it happened. We all seen this coming. If you're on TikTok making TikTok videos spazzing out about your food stamps getting cut, then you were on TikTok seeing the warning signs that they were going to cut food stamps. You guys let me know in the comment section, what do you think of this situation right here? Thanks for watching.
The same people crying that America is not that great are the same people crying they're not getting their food stamps and EBT card from the government this November.
Y'all, so I got a little tea, just a little bit, not a lot. I don't know if it's tea or piss that we gonna be drinking, but one thing I know for sure is y'all will find out the truth. Y'all will tell me if I'm wrong down in the comments. I know that for a fact. But anyway, word around town is public aid when it comes to the SNAP benefits, they taking it back to how they used to do it back in the day. You remember back in the day, if you didn't have no job and you was getting food stamps and cash assistance, or if you wasn't in school or you wasn't working, you had to go work a certain amount of hours at the aid office, right? Well, now I'm hearing that they are bringing that back. So now if you're not working at least I think it was 80 hours a month, then they're going to take it back to where you have to go into office and put them 80 hours a month in. Now, I ain't mad at it, but is the people going to be getting their food stamps in November before we start doing this? But I don't know. Now, I did hear this from another party who heard it from somebody in the aid office. So, I'm just letting you know.
So for the people that's running around acting like they losing their mind behind food stamps, if you finna get food stamps for the month of October, or you have, you know, got your food stamps, if you know that you're not about to get them for November, why don't you try to save some, or go ahead on and make some of your Thanksgiving meal or whatever y'all need. Just get half of it, and that way you can pay half cash. Get some of it out the way. Maybe don't buy the chips this month or the sodas or something, and buy your turkey and whatever you need to make your dressing. Like, if you know, you gotta prepare yourself, you know, get ready for this, so your family won't be without a meal for Thanksgiving, instead of just saying you gonna go in the store, you gonna run out. You know, you can go to jail for that. You know, I understand you want your family to eat, but if you go ahead on and do what you have to do this month, it won't be so hard next month. One thing about me, I'm gonna think ahead, and I always try to get more than what I need. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to run out of anything. That's the type of person I am. But do what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go ahead on and start buying your little cornbread, whatever you're seasoning. Just put it in your freezer. Do what you have to do. You know, and I know it's not just about Thanksgiving, because I know you still have to feed your family. But I don't want to see people get in trouble and have to go to jail behind food stamps because they may not get them for the month of November. I don't know. Just, you know, just some tips. Hugs and love. Y'all be blessed, J-Lo.
This message is for all the people that are complaining that they're not getting their food stamps for November. What did you do with October's food stamp money?
Sorry about the jump scare in that clip back there. Now, Broomhilda asked a question to start off her video. That was the clip you just saw. And interestingly enough, she has the comments turned off on that video. The video where she's asking people a question about what they spent their food stamp money on in October, which would lead you to believe she wants an answer to the question, and yet she turned the comments off. To believe one or more of the following happened. She's unwilling to admit that she's wrong, she couldn't handle the responses she got, or she got tired of people commenting about the incessant smacking of her lips as she eats peanut butter toast. It should come as no surprise that Broomhilda believes the Democrats are responsible for the government shutdown. And she also talks about how long she could make a certain amount of money stretch in her household. And yet she doesn't point out that while the government is shut down and Trump is hosting private fundraiser dinners or destroying the east facade of the White House for a $250 million ballroom, or the Trump administration is sending $20 billion to Argentina, I believe, who also just brokered a deal with China for soybeans, if I'm not mistaken, also undercutting American farmers. All of this is taking place, and so much money is being sent everywhere else that Broomhilda presumably wouldn't like. But yet, because it's the Democrats' fault the government is shut down, she wants to come on the internet and lecture people about how they should spend their money because she believes she has some right to do so.
The cognitive dissonance is stunning. You can't claim to care about government waste while ignoring $250 million ballrooms and $20 billion sent to Argentina. You can't lecture people about fiscal responsibility while defending every extravagant spending project that doesn't help working Americans. This is selective outrage at its finest. It's acceptable when our side spends money. It's wasteful when it helps those people. That Argentina detail, $20 billion to a country that immediately makes deals with China, undercutting American farmers, the same farmers who voted for these exact policies. That's not fiscal conservatism. That's economic self-sabotage. Here's what nobody wants to acknowledge. The people screaming loudest about personal responsibility are usually the ones most insulated from consequences. When they fail, there's family wealth to fall back on. When poor people fail, there's nothing. Follow the money, always. If someone's telling you to tighten your belt while billions flow elsewhere, they're not serious about fiscal responsibility. They're just punching down.
And yet, she doesn't even have the bravery to leave her comment section on.
So they say 2 million is getting cut off this month for the scamps. I'm about to go find out if I'm in that number, in that ratio.
It's been day 5 and I have not received no food stamps. My disability checks is on hold. My cash benefits is not coming no more. They're still pending. It is the taxpayer's job to pay for my kids to eat and for my kids to be taken care of. I have over 2,000 followers on TikTok and I can't get not one person to send me 50 cents? If you're watching video and you can't send me nothing, I'm blocking you.
Well, it's time to get your butt up and look for a job. Best advice.
Let's clear something up about disability benefits right now. If you're approved for disability, you're approved because you cannot work traditional employment. That's the entire point. So telling someone on disability to get a job fundamentally misunderstands what disability means. The TikTok followers plea. That's desperation talking. When your disability check is on hold and you have kids to feed, you'll try anything. Here's what people don't understand. The approval process is brutal. Most applicants get denied multiple times. You need extensive medical documentation, often legal representation, and months or years of waiting. And those benefits? SSI pays a maximum of $943 per month. SSDI typically ranges from $1,500 to $1,800. That's supposed to cover rent, utilities, food, medical expenses, transportation, everything. When people say it's the taxpayer's job, what they actually mean is, we live in a society. Part of living in a society is collectively supporting people who genuinely cannot support themselves. That's basic civilization. Practical advice. If you're on disability and benefits are delayed, contact social services immediately. Ask specifically about emergency assistance programs. Reach out to disability advocacy organizations in your area.
I need to know what's going on. I got 9 kids to feed. 9 babies. And I want to know why they ain't put my food stuff on their car. I done been waiting. I done did my application. And I got 3 handicapped babies. I need to know why my food stamps ain't on my car. This is not right. This ain't fair. I don't care about no shutdown or none of that. But I've been calm. I've been calling. Everybody ignoring me. I done been here 3, 4, 5 times. I want to know why ain't my food stamps on my car. I got 9 babies to feed.
This girl been waiting all this time.
Ma'am, I done been calling. I done been down here, and I'm tired.
Sad.
I done been there, done did all that, and they still ain't put my food stamps on because of the shutdown. This is not fair. I'm tired. I done did all that. Now I need to know what a supervisor or somebody. I need somebody to help me. I got 9 kids to feed. 9 kids. 4 of them ain't mine. I'm taking care of other people's kids. I'm old. I'm tired. I got arthritis. I'm tired of coming back and forth down here about my food stamp. I done had an appointment now. They told me my car money supposed to be on my car. It ain't on there yet. Y'all gotta fix this now. I don't have nothing to do with that shutdown. I'm stressed out. I'm a single mama and I'm helping other people's kids. Now I need my stamps now. I ain't gonna keep going through this. I'm already going through a lot of pain. Okay, now this is my 5th time coming down. I had an interview and all. Now this ain't fair how y'all doing people. This ain't fair. I done been all right there. Y'all done did my interview and all that. I still ain't got my stamps. Still ain't got my stamps. Y'all done let the people shut down the government. Now they ain't gonna give me my stamps.
It's so sad.
And I don't want to go to jail. Because that's where I'm going next when it comes to these babies. Now I gotta go steal and shit. Now I gotta go steal food to put in my house. Y'all ain't got no boxes of food here? Y'all ain't got no food to give me?
9 kids. 3 with disabilities. And the system is telling her to wait. This woman did everything right. She applied. She followed up repeatedly. She went to the office multiple times. She exhausted every legitimate option. And now she's talking about stealing food because what other choice is left? This is systemic failure, not personal failure. Here's what people need to understand. When you have 9 children and 3 have disabilities, you cannot just get a job. Childcare for 9 kids costs more than most jobs pay. Childcare for children with disabilities costs exponentially more. The "I got to go steal" comment isn't a threat. That's a mother calculating the exact moment when desperation becomes crime. That's when society's failure transforms into individual tragedy. If you're in this situation, go to the office in person. Bring every piece of documentation you have. Ask to speak to a supervisor immediately. Be polite but absolutely persistent. Don't leave until you get emergency assistance or a concrete timeline with names attached. To everyone watching, if you're ever in a position to help someone like this, do it. No judgment, no questions asked, just help.
22 days ago, the US government shut down. If this government shutdown continues through November, there will be a very legitimate and in many cases detrimental threat to the food safety, health, and well-being of over 42 million Americans. Here's everything you need to know. According to the Department of Agriculture, they are set to run out of money to fund SNAP benefits or food stamps by November 1st for 42 million American men, women, and children. If you're unfamiliar with what SNAP benefits are, they are a form of food assistance paid for by our government to help comp the grocery bill of low-income Americans when they need it. If Congress ends the shutdown before November 1st, then this issue in its entirety simply goes away. But according to Kalshi, a predictive betting market, the shutdown is projected to last around 40 days, which is well within November, so the chances aren't high. So if you are a SNAP recipient, what does this mean for you? Well, the answer to that question depends on what state you live in. Some states are going to completely stop SNAP payments come November, others may still send partial payments, and maybe some other states will still send full payments, cover the bill themselves, and then request reimbursement from the federal government when the shutdown inevitably ends. It's also a possibility that the Trump administration will try to find some emergency funding to pay for the benefits so they don't stop nationwide. Now, they haven't done this yet, but as of filming this video, they still have 8 days before November hits, and the Department of Agriculture runs out of funding, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
EBT? You know how many bitches I know that got like 9 kids and depend on that shit? You know what? This is why I got our food stamps months ago. Before all this shit even came to play, before all this shit started happening, I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with these food stamps because, number one, if you make $1 over the household amount, that's too much. They don't count your bills, your car insurance, your lights, your water, none of that shit. They don't count none of that. They really just going off of your paycheck and how much you make and just assume that you can feed them kids off of the fact that you make $1 over the amount that you need in order to even get food stamps. No, fuck that shit. If you get off that shit and you can survive, go motherfucking survive. Because I'm telling you, it gets to the point where they want to know your bank account information. They logging into your, if you DoorDash, Uber Eats, or any stuff like that, they're able to log into that information on their own. They need permission from you guys to be able to log into that stuff. Which, you know, if you use that as a source of income, that's just what it is. Now, it's not written in stone that they actually doing this because we still don't know. We still got 10 more days left before the end of the month, which they start rolling out Georgia EBT around the 5th of the month, be like the first deposit for Georgia. I don't know about other states, but we're a SNAP here in Georgia. And, you know, if it makes it to that point, it makes it to that point. I don't know what Donald Trump doing, but who still go to work, who still go to school, who still have to go and buy additional food stamps from other people or buy additional food with their paycheck money. You feel me? So taking that away, it's going to be a problem. It is. The biggest question is, are they actually going to do that shit? Now, y'all, if they do that shit, right, if they do that shit, y'all vote for the wrong person. Y'all completely voted for the wrong person. To be honest, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing at this point. Like, this man really did stop 8 wars overseas. But yet, he turned around threatening to take food stamps. Like, if that's not no Gemini shit, I don't know what it is. And y'all out here with these kids who actually stay at home moms, who's not working, who's not doing, you know, any of those things. I'm just going to tell y'all, just go ahead and get prepared now. Just get prepared because the unknown is unwritten. It's unwritten. So we don't know. You know, we really don't know. And some of us don't even pay attention that much until it's actually affecting us. So I would just say, y'all get prepared anyway. Get them canned goods. The most, stock up on them canned goods. Anything of that sort, just do it. You know, just be prepared because it's unwritten. It is. You know, they might decide tomorrow. So like I said, they might tomorrow, they might just want to open the government back up. So we really don't know. I don't know if this Trump you know, testing us or standing on business. You know what I'm saying? So either way it go, y'all voted for that man. Y'all did. You know, I did what I did because I wanted to see if we had an actual chance of this country being better if it was a woman running in that position instead of a man. But it seemed like everybody shot this lady down and Trump in the position to Who knows? Who knows?
42 million people, 1 in 8 Americans. That's not just welfare queens or lazy people. That's working families, veterans, seniors, disabled people, and children who had zero say in any of this. And here's the thing. This was completely predictable. When you vote for smaller government, this is what it looks like. When you vote to cut waste, this is what gets cut first. Not defense contracts, not corporate subsidies, food for children, benefits for the elderly. The "y'all voted for the wrong person" comments are everywhere now. There's definitely an "I told you so" energy, but underneath that, genuine concern, because nobody actually wants to see 42 million people go hungry. The advice to stock up on canned goods is solid. Beans, rice, pasta, canned vegetables, peanut butter, anything with a long shelf life. Buy what you can, when you can. But here's the real lesson. Elections have consequences. When you vote based on anger instead of analysis, based on promises instead of actual plans, based on what sounds good instead of what works, this is the result. If you're realizing now that maybe you voted against your own interests, it's not too late to learn, to stop directing anger downward at people struggling just like you, and start directing it upward at the systems and people who created this mess.
What are 2 clips that give off the same energy? I'll go.
This message is for all the people that are complaining that they're not getting their food stamps for November. What did you do with October's food stamp money? What'd you do? What did you do with October's food stamp money?
They used it for food in October.